I just finished watching the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano fight, and those quotation marks for fight, because this heavily touted, heavily promoted event lasted 17 seconds, with Ronda Rousey absolutely taking it to Gina Carano in a 17-second match. And why this is so crazy is because this whole event was greatly marketed in terms of this matchup between two legends of women's MMA. Even if you don't know much about the sport, which I don't, you know who Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are. You know, Gina Carano came first before Ronda Rousey, was the whole head of the whole MMA movement for women. And even if you don't follow the sport, which I don't, you know her from various movie and high profile kind of appearances and things like that. Gina Carano was in Deadpool. She was in Fast and Furious 6. She had a prominent role in the Mandalorian TV show. So people have seen and know Gina Carano, even if you don't follow MMA. And then Ronda Rousey was super huge back in the day, a decade ago, for her ruthless style, her demeanor, her undefeated record. Unfortunately, after Holly Holmes took it for her, she was never able to capture that magic, and both had been gone from the sport for a while. But in recent months, weeks, the promotion for this event on Netflix between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, two legends of the sport, even someone like me who does not follow any MMA, whether it's men's or the women's, even though I know some of the stars, when I saw the promotion and the matchup between these two ladies, I was like, that's an event I gotta watch, man. And thankfully, we're past the whole pay-per-view era, and it was on streaming on Netflix. So I was like, perfect, able to sit down, watch it on a primetime Saturday night. And the lead up to the event, like I said, this felt really cool. You know, it kind of reminded me of the whole Mayweather-Floyd battle over a decade ago. Mayweather-Pacquiao battle in 2015. That kind of high-profile matchup between legends. In this case, for women's MMA as opposed to boxing. And I was excited to watch it. It has your typical lead-ups in terms of the fights that came before it, which were fine. But then once things got cracking down, when it came to the actual fight, when the two ladies were getting into the ring, you felt all kinds of hype in terms of being able to watch this event and see it happening. And 17 seconds later, boom, ended in submission, and Ronda Rousey had Gina Carano in some kind of like arm bar lock, whatever. Apparently it's this famous thing that Rousey does. Again, I don't follow the sport. And just like that, the fight was over. And the thing with that, I think everyone that was looking forward to this event was, you're definitely expecting to see more than 15 seconds, or at least if it's going to go that short, you know, to end in some kind of like, you know, a knockout punch or something like that. I mean, this was just nothing. That was pathetic. Gina Carano didn't even get like a hit on Ronda Rousey, which she said as much in her post-game interview afterwards, where both ladies, it felt like they didn't even know what to say. Rousey was excited because, you know, she won, happy, and the two ladies did show respect for each other, and Rousey even said that she had a lot of respect for Gina Carano and didn't want to, like, actually hurt her or anything like that. But what was really telling was listening to Gina Carano's interview afterwards, because, you know, I don't think she was upset she lost. I think she was upset that it went so short, and she even said, I didn't get to hit her. You know, listening to Carano, you just felt that kind of amazement and like, really? Like all this training and all that, and it's over? Because you look at Gina Carano, she lost a lot of weight in the lead up to this matchup. The most prominent thing I had seen Gina Carano in recently was her appearance in The Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2, which came out in 2019 and 2020. If you look at her on that show, she had a much more kind of, you know, I don't know what you want to call it, bodybuilder heavy type physique, where, you know, she definitely had some weight on her. You look at her in the weigh-ins for this event with Rousey, the first thing I thought was, holy crap, she looks fantastic. She looks even better than she did in like 2013 when I first saw her in like Fast and Furious 6. She looked incredible. So that was amazing, but maybe she needed to keep a little bit more weight on, just because Rousey, even though she's shorter, but she's more physically built as as far as like her muscles and physique. So that's why even going in, even though I didn't know much at all about the matchup between the two ladies as far as, the kind of ins and outs, analyst style, just looking at Rousey, I figured she'd win, but I think everyone watching the event was just hoping for something that would last a whole lot longer, definitely more than 17 seconds in an armbar. My goodness. And you look at the event, all I could do was go online and see the reaction right after as far as like, what, 17 seconds? Are you kidding me? See a comment on X right now. Not saying Rousey is a burglar, but burglar-ish. That was highway robbery. Another person, that was terrible. 17 seconds, 17 years for Gina, 10 years for Ronda. Result, 10-second armbar, cry emoji. Glad for another comment. Glad I didn't pay for that. Yeah, imagine if people had paid to watch this on pay-per-view, or the actual people that paid to go to Intuit Dome in Inglewood, Los Angeles to watch that. Oh my goodness. Whoa, that would, I'm guessing just to get in there, had to be in thousands, especially even maybe not thousands in the nosebleed, but definitely a hefty price for sort of a hot ticket that was. 17 seconds and paying for that, my goodness. And even you got to feel cheated for someone like if you saw the lead up for the event and wanted to watch it, if you plan your Saturday night around that, you just got to be thinking, whoa, I don't know what the hell that was. Back in the day in 2015, Mayweather-Pacquiao, I don't think anyone would have called that a great fight, but you at least got some entertainment out of it. And even a couple of years later, Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. Those have been kind of the two biggest, promoted icon level matchups in my lifetime of watching sports like that. But this, I don't know what to say. They talked to Rousey afterwards, naturally, and she said that she's not really super interested in, continuing fighting MMA full time. I mean, she had been gone from the ring for 10 years, but I guess she didn't lose her touch. Well, I guess she did, because that was the whole reason she left. If you remember back in the day, Rousey was America's Sports Center's darling as far as her undefeated record, her popularity, just kind of her flair. But once she finally lost, she just kind of lost her mojo and she was never the same. So I do feel good for Rousey on that level. Gina Carano, they asked her and she didn't really know what to say on this one. I think she was just too flabbergasted by that result. She did kind of leave the door open to come back. You never know. I guess for her, she considered part of a victory is just getting in the ring. But again, you got to go back and look at her interview right after, and she is just as shocked as everyone else was. But yeah, 17 seconds, that is crazy. My big reaction to that is that anyone that paid to go to that just to see that specific fight, my goodness, thank goodness they had some entertainment beforehand. Now, some of the other fights didn't last very long either. A lot of them ended in the first round. That Nate Diaz fight, oh my God, that got real bloody, real quick. That was easily the most brutal fight of the day. But what I will say about it is that it did feel like a big spectacle event. It was fun in the lead up to all the promotion they did and actually sitting down on a Saturday night and watching it. But 17 seconds for two ladies that I think if I read right, Gina Carano made like $1 million for this fight, and then Ronda Rousey made $2 million. All that money for 17 seconds worth of work. Hey, wow, good thing they didn't get paid per second they were in there, because that wouldn't have been a big payday for them. So yeah, that was some pretty big highway robbery in front of the whole world right there. It is what it is, I guess. But those are my reactions to the Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano fight. My goodness. But God bless anyone that paid for that, because you need prayer after that one. So, made it to the end of this video. Thank you for watching.